Both hit live if you got it set up. Hey, everybody. Super excited to have my friends Jessica and Alex here with us today. And I just learned something new about Jessica. She takes dance every single day except for Fridays. Huh. I had no idea. Get a little pop in you. That's why you're so good on the dance floors.
I wouldn't say that, but I try my best.
And she teaches me. That's how I know.
That's right. Somebody's got to teach me. I've got two left feet. Some things you can't teach, but but I try. Well, good. So we're here today to talk about teams, the trials and tribulations of starting a real estate team. I know a lot of people are talking about starting them, so wanted that's a great topic to address tonight. So tell us some of your learning pitfalls. What's something you would change?
Jess, I know you got a few. You want to start that?
Okay. Well, so I would so there is a whole master's degree one can get for HR. So while you might be the best realtor in the world, but hiring, onboarding, training, all of the things that go into building a team is a whole different skill set. So my first hire, I did not interview. I did not look at a resume, check references. I was like, I'm desperate. Let me just
Scary.
hire this person. And then I didn't know that onboarding was a thing. So I really made pretty much any mistake that I could have made. And it wasn't my employee's fault, it was all on me. And so then I bought these books about hiring and onboarding, and it says do's and don'ts, and all the don'ts are the things that I did. Um, so I was like, okay, well, cool. Let's start over this next time. And this next time, I hired someone who was overqualified, and of course, they left. So they're just, I think that the tips and tricks are that are there to finding the right people. But they say, Jennifer always says, slow to hire, quick to fire, and that is very true. I think it's you need to be really careful because our business is kind of like our baby, and we don't want to bring in someone who's going to mess things up. Um,
Absolutely.
so I just struggled with that. I finally have a great team of three admins, and they're all part time and they're all wonderful. But it did take me, I want to say, 7 months to figure that out, which is a lot longer than I thought it would take.
Absolutely. So I think one of the keys, and it's not like foul proof, believe me, but to get them to do the disc assessment. I think that's really important so you can know their personality types and will they match with your personality type. But another thing that I've added to that is in the interviewing process, have them do a video and send it to me because I need to know if they're shy or not. So if they could do a video and send it to me, then I mean, especially if I'm trying to hire for a buyer's agent, right? I need somebody
Right?
that's not scared and that also knows how to do it technology wise.
Yeah.
What are some things you've learned, Alex?
So I know this is trials and tribulations, but I have to start with I've been really lucky with my team. I've had great people that are really close to me. So I haven't had to hire like outside of my immediate sphere. So that's been really nice. So I've had that benefit. But I know won't always be that way. Eventually, I'm going to have to seek and recruit. But right now, I mean, everyone that's on my team has basically fallen into my lap. So then that's been really good. Um, I would say that early on, my first team member was Diane when when I started at Remax is when I started the team. I didn't feel like at first the company I was with was going to help me much with doing a team. So that was part of the reason why I wanted to come to Remax. And she came on at the same time. So my mistakes were sort of mitigated because, is that she's actually my mother-in-law. So I could make mistakes. So that was good. So like she, was learning everything. Everything was brand new to her. So she wouldn't have known or, it wouldn't have been anything that really, really affected, the team. But basically you got to have all your numbers down. So you got to learn the numbers, make sure you understand, what numbers are favorable for you, what are favorable for your team, and then finding something that's fair, that's going to make sense for both sides. So when I come up with my numbers as far as splits and what I'm offering to the team, I just try to think of it like, would I be on this team? If I wasn't the team leader, like, would I join this team? Would it make sense? So it has to make sense for everybody. It's got to be, beneficial for me, and it has to make sense for the team member to join, and because they could get a higher split going solo. So there's got to be enough incentive there for the team members to join, and I think I've made it work, and I'm at a good place with it now.
So Jess's structure is that she's got 3 part-time admin. How many people do you have on your team, Alex, and how long have you been teaming?
Sure. So the team started when I joined Remax, which was like 3.5 years ago. And basically the whole time I've had an admin, a virtual assistant. And right now I have just that one virtual assistant still, who's full time. And then I have 5 members of the team who are, my agents, buyer agents, but they do listings, they do everything. But I give them a lot of buyer leads. And one of those new members of the team is also like a showing assistant. So we can all use him, which is a perk of being on the team. Well, our whole office can use him. So if you need a showing, you need help with an appraisal, inspection, a lockbox, signs, whatever it is, he could do that too. But he's also licensed and learning to sell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, Steven. Say a shout out for a few
Hey,
of the
Steve.
guys. And Derek. Hey, guys.
Hey, Derek.
Hi. I just got a note from Derek.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been in real estate 17 years and teaming for 12. And there's definitely a lot of trials and tribulations. And I think the number one, if somebody's out there and you're thinking about starting a team, the very first thing you need to make sure that you've got systems in place. And I mean systems for everything. Buyers, sellers, expireds, for sale by owners, whatever your niche is, you need systems in place for that so that you could teach somebody how to handle it. And the second thing is you need a good foundation. You need those admin. You need a closing coordinator. You need the processes, right? Systems and processes that are tried and true and proven before you take on an agent.
Yeah.
It's like when you build a house, that foundation is super important.
Agreed. You got to really know what you're doing.
Yep, that's right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Let's see here. What's Anne-Marie says? A big
Thank
congratulations.
you, Anne-Marie.
Yoo-hoo.
I'm glad you brought that up. Appreciate that. So yeah, I got my broker license. And I don't plan to be a broker of record. I'm definitely not planning on, opening a franchise or anything. I just thought that having a broker license is a good thing to have. It kind of gives you a little more credibility with clients, but also as a team leader, that was big for me. So I'm kind of
congratulations.
I'm a notch above. Yeah, thank you.
That is awesome. And then, so Jess, so you're saying the first thing you did is to read your books. What are some takeaways that you took from them?
Okay, so I hired a buyer's agent before I hired an admin, which everyone said, get an admin. And I thought, no, I don't need that. I need feet on the ground. And I was so wrong because now I have it reversed and I have the admin. And I'm like, how was I doing this, without that? So because I didn't realize how much time I spent just setting appointments for myself. How much time I spent sending cards to my clients, there are like all sorts of things that we now have in place. So I do feel like I do have the systems finally at last that if I did bring someone on, it would move like clockwork. It's just finding that right person. So that's what I learned. I also learned, I want to give a shout out to Brianna Castillo in Dallas, because she really helped me with the hiring process a lot. And I really like her whole interview process. So she has like a 3-step interview process that I have adopted. The first is the phone interview where you screen. So I screen people, and my big screening question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And why do you want to do this? Like, there are a lot of people that want to go into real estate, like new agents, and they think it's one thing, but it's actually something totally different. Like,
that's one of I'm sorry, just one of the questions I ask like that too is, what are your thoughts about working every single weekend? And I wait for them to answer, and I'll say, what are your thoughts about working every single weekend and nights? Right? Because I think a lot of people get into real estate because they think it's good money, and they don't really see how hard we work, and how
Yep.
many hours we truly work a day. When somebody said, would you consider yourself full-time or part-time? I'm like, what the hell does part-time even look like? Is full-time 40 hours? Then I'm like triple overtime. Like,
Full
holy,
end part. It's 1.5.
Yeah.
like,
I mean, not that I should be going into somebody's attic to check for raccoons, but desperate times call for desperate measures. But yeah, I'm just saying, like there are things that we have to do for our clients. We bend over backwards. A great realtor has great customer service, and that means we have to put them first. The clients, that's their everything, and that's a lot. That's a lot to ask of someone.
well,
So
yeah, the other question I like that Nimesh told me about, and I loved it was so simple but true, is when you're interviewing an agent to be on the team, do you want your face on the billboards with all the lights and shining stars? Because if they do, they're not a good agent to be on your team, because your team's under your name, not their name, right?
yeah, because
Totally.
you does the interview on the phone, and then you have your standard interview, right? Hey, Mike,
Mhm.
sweet and low patrol. I like
Sweet
that.
and low. That's awesome.
Um, so yeah, so the second interview is a just a basic interview where you ask the standard interview questions. But I have a friend who works at Amazon and does a lot of hiring at Amazon, and he's a big fan of asking questions that are thought process questions. Like, here's a hypothetical situation: you can't get in the lockbox, but there's a fence. Do you jump the fence to get in? Like, how do you deal with the situation? You've got a helicopter parent over here, and see kind of how they problem solve, right?
Ah,
And then the final interview is a project for Brianna, where she gives, maybe two options of things, and it's so open ended. So, like for a buyer's agent, it might be, I want you to plan an open house to sell the house, get some buyers, get some sellers, and meet the neighbors. What are you gonna do? And then it's just out there, and then just see what they
ah.
you
So is
know.
that like a written essay type thing?
Well, it's so open ended. They could do whatever. They could make flyers for you. They could come up with like a whole plan. Like, it's open ended, so you can see how hard this person's going to work
That's
on
a
this
good idea.
particular. And for admin, it's a different question. It's like a more data oriented question. But
That's
um,
smart. That's good. I've never done that. That's a brilliant. That's a great idea.
so that was my big takeaway, was like, actually interview people. Just, it doesn't seem like rocket science.
But
um,
it is, right? I mean, you do have the different personality types. And for me, I just love everybody. So when I'm interviewing them, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to be such a great fit. But they're not always.
yeah, just because
That's
you
where I
like
do think
someone
that
doesn't mean that they're the perfect fit.
what did you say, Jess?
Just because you like someone doesn't mean they're a good fit for your team.
That is 100% accurate. And I like the idea of asking them that open-ended question. I've never done that before, but I do, like before they come on now, I do have a list of things that they have to do. And the people that get it done quickly are the people I end up hiring. The ones that take a week, they're too busy to do the few things that they need to do for the hiring process, then I don't need them.
Yeah, so you give them some like tasks to complete that are
Or
like
there's like for Remax, for this Remax firm, there's like 5 videos that they training videos that they need to do to learn
right,
their systems. And they're each of them are like 3, 4, maybe 10 minutes long. And so, but I can see when they finished them. So I mean,
right,
it's like that kind of stuff. Okay, listen, this is what you need to do this week. Give and then to do a to give you a biography, their biography, their headshots, all that. And but if it takes them forever to do it, then they don't really want the job,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah. That's why I was like kind of what you guys were saying. I try to talk people out of it almost when they say they want to do it.
Well, try to be more
Just the
realistic.
weekends. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I need them to be more realistic because, I mean, let's be clear, 87% of agents that start real estate drop out within the first year.
exactly.
That's a
Yep,
lot of my time that I'm going to be training them for them to drop out. So I'd rather them know the trials and tribulations up front.
exactly.
And
Yep,
then
it's better.
even with admin, I mean, I have a really big personality, so it has to be somebody that meshes and doesn't mind me being loud and obnoxious.
love my admin. I must say, every time we have a success, he sings to me. It's really great.
Oh, well, you said he got you some appointments too. That is awesome.
What's that?
And he made you some appointments recently too.
Yeah, he does. I'll be like, hey, I want to target this senior living community, and suddenly I have an appointment over there, and then the next week they have a gift basket, and then the next week I'm doing a downsizing seminar. It's great.
That's
That's
awesome.
great.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. So, I got, well, my award this year is out on my team thing, but I got another award for highest paid commission in North Carolina, number 5.
Wow.
And out of all the teams in North Carolina. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, I think
Great.
the agents on my team love it, but that does mean that, that I am not greedy at all. I mean, I do, let's be clear, it is a business. I am in this to make money. I'm not in it for charity. However, I am never going to be the team lead that makes all the money. I think it's important that everybody has the ability to make unlimited money.
Me too.
So for retention.
Me
But
too.
not at the
Yep,
point where
exactly. I'm
it means
definitely,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Alex.
I'm like team first, put them first, make sure that, they can really succeed and have a good career. Because like I said, it wouldn't be worth it for them otherwise. So it's got to make sense for everybody. And if it helps me just a little bit, each team member, it helps a little bit more. So
Yeah.
you can, get to a good sized team where it's like really great for me, and they're all killing it. I'm happy. Everybody's happy. So
Yeah, the aspects I love about a team. I love our numbers when you could pull them together, because together
yeah,
we are super strong. We
yeah,
rank really high here because I couldn't do it as an individual agent, but as a team we could. I also love the
exactly.
fact, like I'll be at R4 with you, Alex, next
Yep.
week, and the fact that I've got a whole team that could take care of any of my clients, my buyers
Yeah,
or my sellers, and make
it's good for
sure
everybody.
that
Not going to R4 because I don't have the support to leave right now. Like it's a busy season for me, and I really wish I had the buyer's agents that you all have. I think that's really huge to have that.
Yeah, it makes it so you can leave, right? So it makes it, and they can leave. I mean, they can also go on vacation, and they also
Yeah,
have the team behind them. But also, we're like a family, and I tell everybody that interviews to be on the team, we act like a family. We love like a family. We fight like a family. But at the end of the day, we are a family. I mean, and my daughters do work for me, but I've got 6 other people that are not blood related that also work with me. But we do act like a family. I mean, sometimes I'm sure I aggravate the hell out of them and vice versa. So
I'm very demanding too. It's
got high expectations.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but I mean, they all know that I truly love them and their families, and anything, I would do anything for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
So quickly, I know Justin didn't really want to talk about this, but what about the commission ruling? And I have I want to say something, but as far as NAR, the National Board of Realtors, um, not being able to put the commission in the MLS, right? So my biggest
Yeah.
takeaway is that when the news says it's no longer 6% commission, that is vastly wrong, because commission is always negotiable. It always has been. It always will be. That has not changed at
I
all.
was like cracking up when I saw CNN that said breaking news, the standard 6% commission is no longer. It's like, wait, first of all, that wasn't the standard.
And we
Second of
hate
all,
these
that's not what
standards.
this is about. Where are they getting this from?
Well, the whole lawsuit is because of saying standard, and there is no
Right.
standard. It's
There's
all
no, it's
negotiable.
always negotiable.
Yeah, and
So
it always has been.
Now
yeah.
it's prohibited to go in MLS,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So
right.
So it's just the thing is, I was talking to some sellers earlier that they were like, "Oh, do I have to? I don't have to pay the buyer agent commission." I said, "Well, first of all, we signed an agreement saying that we would, and we advertised it at this point. And secondly, you have 6 offers going X% over, which is way more than the commission. And so when you offer that, you are enticing people to come and help sell your house."
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think
you
it's
know,
important for us to teach right? Because the average consumer doesn't sell a house, but every 5 years, 5 to 7 years. So it's
Right.
important for us to teach them why they need to pay buyer agents commission because I mean, you're eliminating 90% of the buyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most buyers, I mean, they have to put 20% down. They have to do a home inspection. They have to do an appraisal. They have all the things that they have to do. And now you're going to add another X amount of dollars on top of it. It'll just put, I mean, your house won't sell. It won't sell without it. So,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, do you want to sell the house or not? Let's see if we can make sense with it.
Yeah, the market dictates what the commission's going to be. That's why I don't like that they're trying to make these rules, because it's like, you can't change what the market is. So like, if it's necessary to offer a commission to a buyer agent, like what's the point of hiding it? Like, eliminating transparency. Like
Well,
sellers want to
exactly.
do it.
Okay, that's an interesting point too, because everything's about disclosure, disclosure, disclosure.
Right, right.
And now we can't.
The opposite.
But
Yeah,
it's like
I know. I just took the broker exam, and that's all. So half of it is about disclosure. Like, it's okay if you disclose it. It's okay if you disclose it. That's how it is, and that's how it should be. So really, I think a better solution to this would have been like new disclosures that like break down the commission very clearly than we were even doing it. And if everyone signs it and everyone's happy, then that's how it should be. But this is
that's right.
removing that. This is like, let's not talk about it, and then we'll find out later. And to me, it's a recipe for disaster, but we shall see.
Yeah. Well, the hardest thing is going to be that we're going to have to call each listing agent before we show their homes and see
Yeah.
what the compensation is. And that's how they do it in the commercial world anyway.
Right.
However, it just adds a lot more work on our upfront.
I know.
Us,
Let's
and
see
the
who
poor
that's
listing
helping.
agents along with it too.
Everyone needs
Yeah.
to get an admin who doesn't have an admin, because you're going to need one now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
True. Amen. That's very true.
Very true. Yep.
Awesome. Well, in conclusion, you want to conclude with teams? What's the big takeaway? Have a foundation, get an admin,
Yeah. Know your numbers,
know your numbers.
and that's just general. Know all your numbers, any which way. Every type of number is very important.
Well, and another thing I just thought of that is really important too, before you hire an admin, you need to know what your monthly expenses are. And you need to have a minimum of 3 months in savings, because you are going to have months that are not good or months that are better, but you need to make sure that you can pay that admin. So you need 3 months extra in savings really before you start a team.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Jessica, and I like yours, the 3-step interview process.
3 steps.
Yep. Slow to hire. That makes slow to hire. Just, getting all the data.
Yep. And then just make sure that if you find out that it's the wrong fit, you fire them immediately, because the longer you keep somebody who's not the right fit, the more money you're spending, and it's just not going to be good.
Yeah, Jessica, do you remember you and I having that conversation on your first hire? When
Yeah.
she was coming in late, and on your like second or third day, I'm like, get rid of her.
Get rid of her on day one.
Yeah.
Day one.
Remember you called me? I was in the elevator. I think I was in Charlotte at the time, and I was like, just get rid of her. It's not going to be good. She's not really trying.
Yeah. So and then I was relieved, because then it was like, okay, one day, didn't hurt anything. Now we're just back on the drawing board. So if anybody is in Northern Virginia and would like to be on my team as a buyer's agent, here's my shameless plug.
Yes, I'm looking to hire too. Absolutely. Yes, and Jess would be a good one to work for. She has Patience of Job, which is awesome. Alex, are you looking to hire people on your team?
We just hired a new one who is a former client. So I'm not in a particular rush to hire anyone. So if someone comes about that's a perfect fit, then yes, but I'm not going out of my way at the moment. I'll put it that way.
I'm looking to get 2 more buyer's agents. So I'm with Jess. I'm always looking to grow and expand and love and learn.
That's great.
Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm thankful that you guys came. Y'all have a great evening. And Alex, I'll see you at R4.
You too. Yep. See you soon.
Bye. Y'all did